Monterey, California, a coastal city offering scenic ocean views, an abundance of restaurants, and plenty of family-friendly activities. Located in the heart of Monterey is historic Cannery Row, a bustling strip that was once a fishing and canning hub. While these decades-old canneries still line Cannery Row, this waterfront street has even more to offer than meets the eye. I'm Colleen Kelly, and this is Family Travel. Welcome to Monterey, California. In this episode, join me as I explore this notable area of Monterey with my daughter Donovan and family friends Nick and Lizzie. We'll learn about the history of Cannery Row and its connection to John Steinbeck, go on a Surrey bike ride along the coast, enjoy some fresh seafood, get lost in a mirror maze, learn about local wine, and even discover some incredible marine life while kayaking in the bay. Get ready for an unforgettable California adventure. My name is Colleen Kelly, and when I was single, I lived abroad and traveled the world. Then I became a parent and wondered, how would I ever travel again? So I set out to find a new way to travel and get back to exploring the world family style. I'm here to guide you on how to get the most out of your family vacation. Pack your bags and join me, Colleen Kelly. We're going on vacation. Funding provided by
Ted Tetzlaff, attorneys for your personal and business needs.
The stunning city of Monterey, California is located on Monterey Bay on California's central coast, about 120 miles south of San Francisco. Nestled on the coast of Monterey Bay is the historic street known as Cannery Row. Cannery Row is known for its fresh food, incredible marine life, and its rich history, and we can't wait to check it out.
The modern history of Cannery Row started about a mile up the road in the late 1800s at China Point. It was the largest Chinese settlement outside of China. The Chinese were also the first fishermen here in Cannery Row. They really started the fishing industry here. Sadly, there was a fire that destroyed the village around 1906. And at that time, they resettled right here where we're standing now. And you can see behind us, there's a mural honoring their contribution to the area. The first cannery on this street was established in 1902. Cannery Row, and during the war years, became incredibly successful because fishing production in the North Sea had to stop because of World War I. At that time, in the heyday, 1.4 million cases of sardines were shipped from this street. That's over 300,000 tons. Somewhere around the late 40s, early 50s, all the sardines disappeared. And it went from that over 300,000 tons of sardines to roughly around 10 tons. The very last cannery to produce sardines was the Hovedon Cannery, where the Monterey Bay Aquarium is now. And they packed their last can of sardines in 1964. After the last cannery closed, Cannery Row was pretty much a ghost town. And over the years, the properties have been revitalized. We have wonderful restaurants, shops, attractions, the natural beauty, the coastline.
Many of the buildings on Cannery Row hold a unique history, right down to the hotels. While Intercontinental, the Clement Monterey, is the newest property in the area, the Monterey Plaza Hotel and Spa has an interesting history. The Monterey Plaza Hotel was designed after the historic Tevis Murray Estate. This 1901 estate was constructed as a private residence for a wealthy San Francisco family. Today, the Monterey Plaza Hotel draws visitors looking for luxury. There are many ways you can explore Cannery Row. Adventures by the Sea is a tour and rental company offering everything from bikes to kayaks, so we had plenty of options to choose from. For our first day, we decided to go with the Surrey bikes. So when you come to Monterey, you don't need to rent a car because there's other modes of transportation. You guys ready?
Yeah.
All right, let's do this. Surrey bikes are a great option for those with multiple passengers of varying ages. Bikes can typically be rented for full or half days, with 2-person or 4-person bikes available. Cannery Row's accessible sidewalks, readable street signs, and their popular recreation trail make it easy to get around. Monterey's Recreation Trail is an 18-mile shoreline route that gives people the opportunity to soak up those seaside views on their walk or bike ride. The waterfront trail runs through Cannery Row, following the path of the former South Pacific Railroad tracks. It's no wonder that families and people of all ages love the ease of exploring this area.
So this is like my first time here, and the charm is definitely welcoming.
Lots of stores and restaurants.
Places to eat. Yeah.
And it's beautiful right here because you've got the ocean view.
It's great for kids of all ages because there's just a lot to do, especially with the parks and the beaches and the wildlife.
We love being able to tour the city at our own pace, and especially enjoyed being able to stop and stretch our legs. That fresh sea air sure is invigorating. And talk about an amazing view. All that biking made us hungry. Thankfully, Cannery Row has no shortage of delicious restaurants. We chose to have lunch at the Fish Hopper, a local gem known for its stunning oceanside views and sustainable seafood.
Yeah. Yeah, wasn't that fun? Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. Love it. Thank you. Oh, Nick. Nick must be hungry. Let's do a little cheers, huh? To Monterey. Now, all this is so fresh, it came from right there.
Except for maybe mine.
Okay, well, maybe not yours. Not yours. Okay, Lizzie, you know what to do here?
I have absolutely no idea where
Take
to
it
start.
and twist it, like in a circle. Excellent, good. And then pull this apart.
Open a little bit.
There we go. Woo! What do you think?
It's pretty good.
The food was delicious, but we wanted to know a little bit more about the history of the Fish Hopper.
So, how's everything tasting?
Oh my gosh, it's so good.
Oh, wonderful.
It's so fresh, too.
So glad you're enjoying.
Yeah, we love it. But we have a question. We were talking about your restaurant. How did you come up with the name Fish Hopper? Like, where did that come from?
So, we actually became the Fish Hopper in 1995. And what the Fish Hopper is, actually, I have a little diagram here for you. So, when Cannery Row used to be an open cannery, used to have fishing boats come in. They used to use this beach here, Maccabee Beach, as one of their main places where they drop off fish. But the fishermen were realizing that it takes so much time and effort to come in and bring in their haul. They built these fish hoppers, and they'd have them about a half mile out into the ocean. And what they would do is they would bring their haul, dump everything into here. And they had a little tube that would run from here all the way over to a concrete holding cell, if you will, for the fish.
Oh.
And it was easier for them to get them from the holding cell there and then clean them out and can it. And it was mainly sardines.
Wow, see, I had no
Yeah.
idea. Now that makes sense, doesn't it?
Well, there's a quiz after lunch, so.
Thank you for that.
Once we were fed and refueled, we decided to do a little shopping. Unique shops by local artisans are everywhere along Cannery Row, so we had plenty of options. After all, we couldn't leave without some souvenirs for Shay and Keelan. Of course, our day wouldn't be complete without stopping to enjoy Maccabee Beach. With a day filled with biking, dining, exploring, and shopping along Cannery Row, I think it's safe to say our trip to Monterey is off to a great start. Cannery Row is famously known for its literary connection to author John Steinbeck, who immortalized this fishing community with his novel of the same name. American author John Steinbeck plays a huge role in Cannery Row's history, even more than you might think.
Well, John Steinbeck is one of the iconic writers of the 20th century. Born in 1902 in Salinas and lived much of his time here because his family had a summer home on the peninsula. But he was an American writer who wrote most famously The Grapes of Wrath, but also wrote about Central California in books like Tortilla Flat and, of course, Cannery Row. Cannery Row got its name from the novel. This used to be Ocean View Avenue when Steinbeck was here, and it used to be lined with canneries. When he wrote about it, he called the book Cannery Row, and eventually the street was named Cannery Row. about a decade or so later in honor of the book, because everybody called it Cannery Row. It's about the connections that make up life itself. One way to look at Cannery Row is as a tide pool with all the species, all the characters interconnected. Cannery Row, I think, has honored Steinbeck just by keeping his name alive and active. This is a kind of revitalized place, and I think Steinbeck would appreciate that, because after all, Cannery Row is about life itself. It doesn't have a plot, it's just about life and the interconnections of life. And that's what Cannery Row today is as well.
As a parent of teenagers, it's always nice to be able to give them some time to explore a new area on their own. With its walkable streets and family-friendly culture, I felt safe giving Donovan, Nick, and Lizzie some time to explore Cannery Row by themselves. They chose to begin their day at the Monterey Mirror Maze.
Here's the Mirror Maze.
Let's go. Oh, we're here for the Mirror Maze. Excellent.
Located on Cannery Row's lively strip, this underwater-themed mirror maze is a fun activity for kids and adults of all ages. For a real challenge, put on their 3D glasses and navigate the maze with neon lights popping up all around you. Whatever your strategy, this psychedelic labyrinth is not only an exercise in team building, but you'll also have a blast doing it. Just make sure not to get lost. But the mirror maze isn't the only fun to be had in this fun house. Those who want to test their spy skills can take on the laser challenge. Inch your way past the lasers as quickly as possible to get to the bank vault. And don't forget to hit the targets along the way. Bring a friend or fly solo, but remember that you'll have to be pretty stealthy to beat the high score. After finding your way through the mirror maze and taking on the laser challenge, you may need a pick-me-up. And what better way to refuel than with chocolate?
Ooh, Ghirardelli.
Let's go get some sundaes.
Let's go.
Ghirardelli chocolate has been a native California delicacy since 1852, deeming it the oldest operating chocolate maker in the United States. While the Ghirardelli chain has shops in several major cities across the country, this is the first outside of San Francisco, where the company was originally founded. In addition to their chocolate, Ghirardelli is also known for their gourmet sundaes. With exquisite ice cream sundaes, an assortment of beverages, and of course, chocolate, it's no wonder people come from miles away to experience Ghirardelli.
I've been thinking about the brownie one like this whole trip. I'm so excited.
I'm really excited for this.
Here we go.
Mirror maze was super fun.
I feel like this is kind of our trophy for getting through that.
While we may also be able to enjoy Ghirardelli sundaes at one of the shops back home in Chicago, a view like this one is hard to beat. While the kids enjoyed exploring Cannery Row on their own, I decided to do the same with my own personal equivalent to chocolate.
So Monterey County is known for their wine, but I'm here to find out what makes it unique.
Monterey County is home to over 40,000 acres of planted vineyards, and a taste of Monterey is the place to try them.
All right, this is why I love Monterey. All these wines are from here, all these. What do I pick? I think I'll take them all.
Of course, I couldn't go to a world-class wine region like Monterey and not do a little tasting. I met with owner Ken to learn about the local wines and sample a few of them myself.
Okay, I am very excited to be here. Great to meet you, Ken.
Good to meet
what
you.
are we going to do here? What are we going to
Well, we're going to try a tasting of some wines.
So this is all made in Monterey.
We showcase all Monterey County wines, so the grapes have to be grown here. Being here on the ocean, it helps us tell the story of how that ocean influences our wine country. So we showcase about 100 different wineries here.
So this is
This is District 7 rosés. So rosés are light and crisp, kind of have a little bit of a strawberry, little citrus characteristics, but light and refreshing.
It's like a good summer wine, I would think,
yes.
right?
Both Chardonnay and Pinot Noir is what the area is known for. We grow a lot of Chardonnay, a lot of Pinot Noir. Chardonnays from this area have a lot of like nice tropical fruit characteristics. In Monterey County, we have a super long growing season. It doesn't ripen too quickly, so a lot of great fruit character.
But it's also really fresh. Is that because it's from here?
Heck yeah.
I'm in Chicago, so it takes a while to get the wine to us. This is really good. Wow, I had no idea. There's so much to wine. It's just to learn all this and to know that it's actually made right here is incredible.
Yes.
I'm gonna keep drinking this.
After the tasting, I couldn't leave without bringing a bottle of wine home with me. When in wine country, you'd be pressed to find a better souvenir. For our last night in Cannery Row, we decided to treat ourselves to a special family dinner. Schooner's Coastal Kitchen is a local favorite, offering tasty, fresh, and sustainable seafood.
Schooners, we're here at the Monterey Plaza, Cannery Row in Monterey, featuring mostly seafood. You can have anything from local oysters to local heirloom tomatoes. We love building our relationships with our local farmers. I can trace down our fish down to the catch method as well as the boat of where it came from. We do a lot with Marine Stewardship Council. That way we know all of our seafood is coming from sustainable and traceable sources. We have a kids menu as well. Really push them to eat, the adult food. Myself as a father like to push that food on my kid. One of the dishes on our menu is created just for her. Gracie's mac and cheese is something I developed for her as a kid, and she absolutely loves to this day. So when you come here with your children and your family, we also have binoculars on every table so you can look around the bay and you can see the sea otters and the whales. It's absolutely amazing to just sit there and enjoy the nature of this marine sanctuary in front of us.
I couldn't help but wonder why the name Schooners.
Schooners is from a ship. It's a sailboat, a type of sailboat. Hence being right on the Monterey Bay, and it fits with that seafood-based cuisine.
We couldn't wait to try some of Schooner's famous seafood. Little did we know, Jerry had a 3-course meal in store for us.
So we have a local smoked cod chowder.
And do you drink it like this?
You can use a spoon or you can shoot it if you want.
I'm gonna try it this way. I'll try shooting it.
Yeah, enjoy.
After the chowder, we were ready to sample some appetizers.
Oh, that's beautiful. Wow, thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's gorgeous. What did you get? Oh, you got octopus. Wow, that's amazing.
So we have a new dish we're working on for our new menu, and it is some steamed mussels.
Nice.
What we do is we steam them in a local apple cider. It's got fresh ginger in it and green onions and bay leaves and thyme.
That's beautiful. Wow, we're ready to dig in.
I'm ready.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's great. Nick's got the octopus.
I know.
You've never had it, right?
I haven't.
Okay.
I'm ready to give it a shot.
Are you gonna do it?
Yeah.
All right.
I'll try it.
Wow, you're brave. What do you think?
It's actually really good.
Really?
I like it, yeah.
Should we try it? Do you guys want some?
Yeah. No way. I'm sorry, no way.
Does he know? She's like, I'm done. Let's try it together. You ready?
It's not that bad.
It was nice to see Nick and Donovan trying something new. And Donovan was even able to teach me something new.
So you take an empty one and you reach in, you just grab it like this and you pull it out.
No way.
Finally, it was time for the main course.
Can we just never leave this place? Thank you. This looks amazing.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Wow, it's beautiful.
Enjoy.
What
You're welcome.
presentation.
Thank you.
Gift.
With its delicious seafood and panoramic ocean views, Schooners is a place where taste and sight are equally valued. And if you don't believe me, just grab a pair of binoculars and take a look for yourself. You never know what you might see.
So I'm having a little hard time right now because we're about to leave. This has been such a great week. I loved it. All right, let's do a toast, okay? To a great time in Monterey, being in Cannery Row, and enjoying a great week. You guys are awesome. Thank you. And trying new foods. I'm proud of all of you. Good job. Yes.
Our last meal in Monterey was a delicious one, but I still have one more adventure in store for us tomorrow before we head home. One of this area's most stunning features is the Monterey Bay National Marine Sanctuary, a federally protected aquatic area off the coast of Monterey. As one of only 12 underwater national parks, this area is home to an abundance of sacred marine life. From sea lions to otters, there's no telling what you'll see in Monterey Bay. And we couldn't think of a better way to get a closer look at these animals than by getting in the water ourselves. Kayaking.
Hello.
Hi, everyone. Good morning.
Hi. We're ready to go kayaking.
Let's go for an adventure. All right. Come on this way. We'll get some gear. All right, guys, come on in. I got some gear for you. We're going to keep you warm and dry out there today. Pants and jackets. We want everybody to wear everything. and you just slide it on right over your clothes. Make sure that you tighten them down at your ankles. That's gonna be for you. Great. You'll need those. Okay, guys, why don't you throw on your gear, and I'll be back with you in a little bit to talk about what's next. All right?
Once we were outfitted and geared up, we were almost ready to get into the water.
I want to talk about what to expect while you're out on the water today. And we use these murals to give you an idea of where to go, how for you all to stay safe, and how to keep the wildlife safe. Because today you're going to see otters and sea lions and seals. As close as you can get to the marine mammals is 50 feet. That's 5 of your kayak lengths, but I like to say give them 60 because we just don't want to be the group that's the closest to the wildlife today. Kayak from the hotel out past the Monterey Bay Aquarium. In the harbor area, you see our California sea lions. And they're the ones that are swimming around out there and barking and jumping over everyone's kayaks. That's a real treat for us today.
They're kind of like teenagers.
They literally are like teenagers.
Next, we headed down to the beach, where Kyle gave us a quick paddling lesson before our launch.
All right, guys, we made it. We're on the beach. Before we hit the water, we got to talk about paddling. You are your own motor, so let's talk about these paddles that are unique to Adventures by the Sea. NRS needs to be on the top, so please get your paddle so that NRS is on the top. Okay. Yep, you got it there, you got it. Okay, so hands on top of the paddle, and then to move your boat forward, you just reach down in the water and move water past the boat and get that rowing motion going. Okay. There we go. Now to make a left-hand turn, you paddle on the opposite side, so the right side.
Okay.
To make a right-hand turn, it's the left-hand side. And I think you guys are going in a tandem kayak today, so the person that's in the back of the boat does all the steering. And then you are officially the otter spotter since you're in the front of the boat.
Nice.
All right?
Okay.
All right, any questions about paddling? All right, these are your boats. They're ready for you. We'll get you going here.
Once launched into the water, we paddled out into the bay, eager to see what marine life we might discover. On our kayaking excursion, we certainly captured our fair share of photographic moments. I think we could have watched the seals and sea lions all day. Before long, we reached the kelp forest.
That's cool. Oh, it's slimy.
Kyle explained the significance of this underwater forest and showed us some of the creatures who inhabit there.
What a day.
What a day.
What a day.
What a day.
Oh my
Great
God.
day. What do you have there, Kyle?
Oh, this was a moon jelly.
All right, so what is a group of jellyfish? What's it called?
Well, they call them a bloom of jellies. I've also heard they call them a smack of jellies.
Oh.
A raft of otters. And what do you call a
pod of dolphins.
A pod of
very
dolphins.
Good.
Ah,
They're
very
learning
nice.
out here. I love it.
There's a lot to learn. There
All
sure
right.
is.
Look at this.
So you're holding it.
Yeah, this is the kelp forest.
So
right?
we are on the kelp forest. We are in the kelp forest. We're in the Monterey Bay Sanctuary, one of the 12 underwater national parks in the United States. And this kelp growing around us gives food and shelter to otters and seals and sea lions. So usually here in the kelp forest is where you'll see the otters, seals, and sea lions, and they're down swimming, and specifically our California sea otters that were endangered and now simply protected are down there getting crabs. They have to eat a quarter of their weight a day. So if one weighs 70 pounds, that's 70 quarter-pound cheeseburgers a day. I don't know if you can handle that.
Yeah, just like that.
Yeah, no, that's it. You just lay around and eat all day.
That sounds lovely.
Yeah, you can leave that kelp right there.
Put it right back in the forest.
Ready? We're ready.
All right, paddle away, guys. Hey, there's some otters right over there. Let's check it out.
There was no question that the otters and their pups were utterly adorable. But keep in mind that the strict laws and fines enforce the protection of the Monterey Bay National Marine Sanctuary and the animals who call it home. That's why it's important to be mindful of wildlife when traveling and always keep a respectful distance from the animals. Take only pictures and leave only footprints. As adorable as the seals, sea lions, and otters were, the highlight of our kayaking trip happened just before we headed back to the shore. I see dolphins.
Wow, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, there's like a whole pod. Do you see all that?
Suddenly, we were surrounded by a pod of over 50 dolphins. Being able to witness this many dolphins at once in the wild is a rarity, even for Monterey Bay. Seeing them play and jump through the water was truly a sight to behold. What an unforgettable end to our vacation. There's no question that we'll miss Monterey. We learned about the history of Cannery Row and John Steinbeck, explored this historical area by foot and by bike, indulged in some of the sweetest chocolate and freshest seafood around, got lost exploring the Mirror Maze, tasted some delicious wine, and went on a kayaking experience like no other. It's going to be hard to say goodbye, but at least we can always come back.
From Cannery Row in Monterey, California, I'm Colleen Kelly. Enjoy making memories on your next family vacation. Oh no, it's not a friend. Discuss. I thought it looked like an little Harry.
He has a piece in the back. No,
I got it. That would be a mom. Moms do.
A little alfalfa there.
Well, I guess I'll keep this guy with me and we'll just keep going.
Okay, let's do it. Right on.
You guys ready? Funding provided by more information on upcoming destinations and projects, visit familytravelck.com. Follow us on Twitter. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and check us out on Snapchat. We'd love to hear from you.